Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I will be talking about my IELTS journey, how I scored an 8.5 on that, and what are the tips and tricks which I followed. So I've made a small list I can refer to while I talk about that. If you guys would like to take a look at this, towards the end of the video, I'll put a clear shot of this so that you can screenshot it. Now again, this does not cover all of the preparations that you need to go through before IELTS. This is for someone who has been preparing for IELTS for quite some time and just before the test needs to go through some tips and tricks. Now this is something which I followed and I could score an 8.5 only because of these. So if you find these helpful enough, do give a like. So starting with the first section, which is reading. Now this may not necessarily be the order of tests which is taken at the day of your test. It's basically the list which I have prepared. So starting with reading, the basic agenda here should be skimming everything rapidly. So once you get the passage, again, be extremely rapid in this section. Once you get the passage, you go through the questions very quickly. You assume what the answers might be. If you cannot assume a particular answer for something, just try to assume if it would be a noun, a verb, an adverb, or an adjective. Once you're done with that, go through the passage very quickly. Then the questions again, and then the passage again. So what you've done is that at a very rapid speed, you have read the questions twice and the passage twice. Once you're done with that, the third step, which is the most important step, is finding keywords. So when you read a question, there has to be a keyword in that. For example, what did David eat when he went to the store? So store here is the keyword. And trust me, by this time, after reading everything twice, your brain has already figured where that keyword in the passage might be, and it will become easier for you to find that out. So again, to sum up everything quickly, you quickly read the questions, you quickly read the passage, and then you quickly try to understand what the keyword is. Reading test in IELTS is all about your quick speed of reading. That's it. So this was about reading. So coming to writing. Now this is something with which a lot of people struggle, including myself. So I have summed up a few tips and tricks for those as well, for the writing test as well. So first one is always try to put in complex sentences when you write. Now, having said that, there should be a lot of commas in your sentences and less of full stops. This is the first trick. Second is do not restrict yourself to 150 or 250 words. Now, the first passage may ask you to write any piece of information in 150 words, but it's not necessary that that's the maximum. That's the minimum which you need to follow. The maximum can be any. For me, in my writing task, I wrote the first passage which I wrote was about 250 words, and the second one which was supposed to be 250 words, I wrote about 400 words there, and I scored an 8.5 in writing. So talking out of experience, do not restrict yourself to the number of characters or the number of words. And third trick here is the hamburger style. Now how you look at a hamburger is there's a bun, then there's all the dressings, the salads, the patty inside, and then there's the bun again. So the two buns for you will be introduction and your conclusion, which kind of sums up. Now introduction will sum up as to what you're about to write, and your conclusion sums up what you have already written above. So that's the bun in the hamburger. Talking about the middle filling or the salad or the dressing, it will be your main content. So if the passage gives you a topic which you need to talk about, just express your general opinion in the introduction and then go in deep in your middle section, which is your second paragraph. Now again in this, try to show a lot of style while you write your passages. For example, include a lot of tenses. Write in past, present, future, then present continuous, future continuous, and all of that. And again, make the sentences complex. And there are a certain keywords which the person who is checking your passage is also looking for. So once he has a tick on all of them, you score really high in your writing task as well. So make sure you utilize your grammatical skills, your vocab to the fullest, and that is about writing. Now coming to listening. Listening is something in which it's just about practice. The more you practice, the better you will be in terms of listening as to when the answer appears in the passage. But talking about the tips and tricks which I used while I gave my listening test was I tried to visualize whatever I was listening. So try to be as creative as possible. And once you visualize as to what is happening, it will be easier for you to assume the answer and also to write it. So before you start your listening test, they give you a minute to go through the questions. So just make sure that you pick up the keywords in the questions as well. Like how we did in the reading task, the same applies to the listening task as well. Look at the keywords. As soon as you hear them in the passage, just be prepared to write your answer down. Also, one more important trick in listening task is do not wait too long for the answer. Uh, Everything is in order. The questions are in order, and the passage will also give you answers in order. So if you wait for a long time for one particular answer, there are high chances that you have already missed that answer. So it's okay, let that go. Concentrate on the next one. And how you do that is because you remember the keyword. So if you missed question number 6, you already know the keyword in question number 7. So you know that when the passage has that particular keyword, just make sure that you jot it down and you write the correct answer for that. So that was about listening. And last is speaking. Now, as opposed to writing, in which you use your vocab to the fullest, you use your tenses to the fullest, speaking is a little different than that. In speaking, the main purpose here is that whatever the examiner asks you, just make sure that your answer is well explained. Now, it's okay if it's simple and basic English, just make sure that the right kind of message is passed in the right context, which is most important. Of course, you can take your time. Suppose if you stop in the speaking test, just tell the examiner that I may need a moment to think about the answer, and that's completely fine. They'll not deduct your marks for that. But make sure that whatever you're talking, you understand that completely, and that is passed in the same context to the examiner as well. So that was about the speaking test. And yeah, so this basically sums up everything. I'll just put a picture of this so that you can screenshot that. And if there are any particular questions you may want to ask me, feel free to put that in the comments or message me directly on my Instagram handle, and I'll surely address those. Also, I'll also attach my IELTS result, which you might already have seen in the beginning of the video. That's it for today, and see you next time.